Welcome to RaspberrySky Straight Talking series. I'm delighted to introduce you to Matt Clarke, the COO of Transcosmos Information Systems. Good morning, Matt.
Hi, Sally. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I'm really interested to talk to you today and talk to a company that provides outsourced services in the travel space, particularly at this time. So could you just give us an introduction into Transcosmos?
Yes, so Transcosmos are originally a Japanese company, headquartered in Japanese still, been in business for over 50 years. Revenues are around 3 billion, something in the region of 50,000 employees globally. I am the CEO of Transcosmos Information Systems, which is really the European part of Transcosmos that's been established more recently. I'm responsible for our operations in Europe, so UK, Hungary, Poland, but we also have an operation in the Philippines that serves our European and US customers, and we have a small amount of operations in the US as well. So you touched upon the industries that we cover. So travel is part of that, but particularly airline. In Europe, that's one of our main sectors, and that's been a very interesting experience during the COVID-19 pandemic. But we also support pharmaceuticals. We do IT services, high tech, sort of wearables, consumer device support as well as another big area of what we do.
So when lockdown happened, had you already been preparing for this? And did you have different approach by the different markets that you're in?
In our industry, many of our services are provided 24/7. So they're always operating, and some of them are quite critical in terms of our clients' ability to operate their business. So business continuity in general is really key to our industry.
Right.
So we have a business continuity management system, business continuity plans for each service and department and clients that's constantly refreshed. So I think that gave us a strong advantage. We already had a framework in which to approach this and a language in which to approach it. And when it became apparent that there was a real threat, we invoked and we updated our business continuity management system. So we did two key things back in February. We formed a COVID-19 incident response team that composed of senior managers, representatives from each country, executives. We also began updating our specific business continuity plans with measures that would address the specific impacts of COVID-19, which we thought was most likely going to be forcing us to have people work from home. So, for example, in the Philippines, they announced a sort of mid-level lockdown, and that had been in place for less than 24 hours before they went to a complete state-controlled, military-controlled lockdown where there was no movement of people. And that happened with about 2 hours' notice. Now, it's 2 hours' notice in the middle of the night, so the Philippine government probably thought that wouldn't have a big impact. But the middle of the night in the Philippines is when our US customers are in the middle of their day, so we were in full production. So we really had 2 hours to mobilize our workforce in the Philippines. But we set out some guiding principles along with our business continuity systems around employee well-being, health and safety, making sure that we were contributing in the communities that we operate in to controlling the spread of the virus, complying with government guidelines in each area that we operate. Also making sure that we were protecting business continuity, both for our company, but also for our clients.
So Matt, so what, now you have this home working environment, agents working from home, what have you experienced? I mean, what about the performance of the agents? You know, has there been more absenteeism? Has performance declined, or is it the same? Or give us some insights.
So that has been really, really interesting. So we quickly moved probably 90% of our staff to work from home. We kept small groups not work from home for mainly compliance reasons, security reasons.
Yeah.
But because we had moved 90% of our staff home, it meant that we could make the office places much safer environments for those 10% in the office. And we only did that where government guidelines allowed. What we have seen has been really, really interesting because we haven't seen a drop off of general performance. So in terms of productivity, service level performance, compliance with process and procedures and all of those things, customer satisfaction, those things have been maintained. If not, we've seen small increases. We have also seen a real drop in sickness and absenteeism.
Wow.
So that has had a very positive impact on our levels of productivity. It's from that perspective, it's worked very, very well for us and for our clients.
I was going to say, so how have the customers responded to the sort of the home working piece? I mean, there's obviously initially a bit fearful, but it sounds like it's gone really well. So, you know, do they see it as a positive?
Overall, I would say, yeah, definitely a positive.
Yeah.
I think that the initial mobilization and enabling of work from home, customers were extremely positive about, because they really saw very little business interruption. And that's also, you know, due to the technologies we now use, right? So we now have cloud-based unified communication systems that enable us to do this, right? And still be able to communicate, have video conference, also to be able to support our customers. So that initial drive went really, really well, and customers were very happy with that. And I think that as the weeks and months have gone on that we've all been in this situation, customers have seen that they haven't seen a drop in productivity, they haven't seen a drop in performance. They're in the same situations themselves for the most part. So everybody is adjusting to this new way of working. And on the whole, we're not seeing a drive from customers to push back to being in an office-based or contact center, traditional bricks and mortar contact center.
That's great, isn't it? That's really great. So moving forward, Matt, I mean, what does the new normal look like for you? I mean, when you're pitching now for new business, or you're being approached by, you know, companies who potentially want to work with you, is part of their requirement a home working element to your proposition, or? Absolutely.
I think that we're looking at a future which is very much going to be a hybrid model. We're already seeing new customers and prospects exploring that idea for their future services, not just as a way to launch the services during the pandemic so we can all get on with doing business, but also for the future once this is eventually all over, still part of an ongoing solution. I think the benefits that we thought might be there, but by doing it in practice we've seen really are the much lower levels of absenteeism means that the levels of productivity are higher. But I think it will be hybrid, because there is still certain functions and payments and credit card payments. We are PCI DSS certified in many of our services and locations so that we can do that. And we have to have certain controls in place. Pharmaceutical industry, the same thing. In terms of protected health information, what we'll see is that certain functions that will be provided in an office-based environment, but those are as areas where there's less of a drive to or need to have high levels of security, or where process allows, it makes a lot of sense to do it on a work-from-home basis. And there's cost benefits to that, right? Both to us, because we don't need to have the cost of running the office, but then we can pass those on to our clients, which makes us more competitive.
It's really insightful, Matt. I wish we could talk for ages, but unfortunately we can't. But thank you so much for joining the Raspberry Sky Straight Talking series. It's been really interesting.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.